Use of the Tax Lien Lady going live on Facebook. This is Tax Lien Investing Tips. And I do a Facebook Live, and I'm trying to adjust this because this is only the second time that I think I've done this live in Facebook. I usually do these Facebook Lives on a third-party platform, and then it gets streamed to Facebook. But I am live on Facebook right now, and I'm here to give you some tax lien investing tips of how you could be a successful tax lien or tax deed investor. Now, I do an Ask the Tax Lien Lady Live where people can come on and ask me questions on Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern. But now I'm going on other days. I plan on doing this today and tomorrow here on my Facebook page, Tax Lien Investing Tips, to give you some free content, free training on how to better invest in tax liens or tax deeds, how you can make a high single-digit or double-digit return on your money without the risk of the stock market and without the typical risk of real estate investing, by investing in real estate guaranteed tax liens and tax deeds. Okay, so I'm going to do this today and tomorrow at this time, 12 p.m. Eastern time. And then next week, we might change it to 2 p.m. We'll see how people like this time. So I want you to, as you come on, just say hello to me and let me know what state you're from, where you're coming in from. And also, let me see if I believe I can see the comments here. So, comment and let me know what you think about this. Today, we're talking about how to find a place to invest, how to find the best place for you to invest in tax liens or tax deeds. Because that was one of the things that came up in the Q&A that I did yesterday in Ask the Tax Lien Lady Live. People wanted to know how to find the best place to invest and how to find good properties to invest in. So today we're going to talk about 3 things to look for when choosing where to invest in tax liens or tax deeds. It's not what you would think. So the first one I want to talk about is strategy. And I'm going to be putting that right here. Okay, strategy, because, and the reason I want to talk about this is because some people, and I don't know, can you guys see that? Okay, let me take that a little closer. And the reason I want to talk about strategy is because I know there are some gurus out there that tell you not to go to the tax sale, that tax sales are very competitive today because there's hedge funds involved in a lot of states in the tax liens, and there's a lot of investors at the tax deed sales, and that's true, okay? But they're telling you that instead of going to the sale, buy the leftover liens, and sometimes they're called OTC liens or deeds, which means over the counter. There are a couple of problems with that strategy. One of the biggest problems is that there is not a lot available anymore, actually no good properties available anymore in the over-the-counter liens or deeds and these over-the-counter lists, okay? The other problem is that not all states sell things over the counter. I do a lot of investing in New Jersey, and it's like an act of God to get them to sell something over the counter that's been left over. All right, not only that, but whatever is left over is not good. There is a reason why people don't pay their taxes, right? And there is a reason why, if there is so much competition, why nobody else bid on that lien or deed. Now, there may be areas of the country where this is not true. There may be remote areas of the country where there are not a lot of investors and there are still good things left over. But in most areas of the country, there is nothing good left over after these tax sales. 20, 30 years ago, that strategy worked. It doesn't work today. The best strategy today is to be first in line. be at the tax sale. And if you're at a live tax sale, that's better than the online tax sale, because an online tax sale anybody can do, right? Anybody that has a computer and a mouse can invest in an online sale. And some of these require deposits. So anybody that has the money to put down for the deposit can do that, right? But with a live sale, you have to actually show up. All right. So even though they are in some areas, the live tax sales are still competitive, they're less competitive than the online sales in a lot of areas. Okay. So strategy is the first thing you want to be concerned about. The second thing is, where do you live? Okay. The state that you live in. Okay. So what state, and if that, what I wrote down here was the word state, if you guys can't see that. So what state do you live in? Okay, now, I also want to say that if you know somebody else that can benefit from these tips, go ahead and share this video. Share this on your Facebook page, share it to your Facebook friends, share it so that other people can benefit from this as well. Okay, so why is this important? What state you live in? Because if it depends, if it's better to go to a live sale, right? And you live in a state that doesn't have the type of tax sales that you're interested in. Okay, so let's say you want to invest in lien sales, but you live in a deed state. I live here in Pennsylvania, but I'm really close to New Jersey. And Pennsylvania sells deeds, but I mostly invest in liens and redeemable deeds. So I go to New Jersey because I'm close to New Jersey. So not only what state do you live in, but what states are near you within driving distance, and what happens in those states. Like what type of tax sales happen in those states? Are they lien sales or deed sales or redeemable deed sales? And what are your goals for investing? Will your state that you live in, will those tax sales help you meet those goals? For instance, as I was talking about, my goal is not to own the property, it's to get the return on my money. So that's why I don't go to as many deed sales as I go to lien sales and redeemable deed sales, because I'm not that interested in owning the property, but I want to get the return on my money. So that's why I go to New Jersey and sometimes to New York and sometimes to other states to go to the tax sales that I want to go to. All right, so that's the second thing. I wrote down state, but it's where do you live and what happens in your state? What type of sales do they have there? And if they don't have the type of sales that you want to invest in, what happens in the nearby states? Or maybe a state that you vacation in, or a state that you have family in. Okay. All right. So what about the third thing? The third thing that you want to be concerned about is money. How much money do you have to invest? Okay. How much money do you have to invest? And that's because you need more money for some tax sales than others. So let's say you want to invest in tax deeds, for instance, but you only have $20,000. Well, unless you're only interested in land, $20,000 is not enough to buy tax deeds in most states. Okay, but it is enough to buy liens or redeemable deeds in a lot of states. But that also depends on what type of tax sales. So how much money you have to invest is going to dictate whether you can invest in deeds and what lien states you can invest in and redeemable deed, because in some redeemable deed states and in some lien states, where in lien states where they bid premium and in redeemable deed states where they bid up the price of the deed, right? You're going to need more money than in states that have different bidding procedures, where they don't bid premium or don't bid up the price of the lien or deed. Okay, because in states where they bid up the the price of a redeemable deed or the price of the deed, then bidders can bid up to a certain percent of the market value of the property, which can be quite high, right? And here's another thing: if you do have a lot of money to invest, it's easier to get that money invested in states that do bid premium instead of the states that bid down the interest rate. If you're investing in liens, let's say you want to invest in liens and you have a lot of money to invest. Well, if you just go to lien sales where they're just bidding down the interest rate, then you might not be able to put a lot of your money at play, right? But if you go to lien sales or redeemable deed sales, where the premium is bid or the price of the deed is bid up, you could put more money at play. You can invest more of your money. So you can invest larger amounts. All right. Now, my favorite places to invest are places where you pay premium or you bid up the price of the lien or deed. And in the cases of, I'm not talking about deeds now because you don't get any interest on deeds, right? You just get the property. But with redeemable deeds and liens, I like the states where you bid premium or you bid up the price of the redeemable deed and you get interest or a penalty on everything that you bid. Those are the states where you can make the most money. Okay, so that is my message for you today. That is my tax lien investing tip for you today: how to choose where to invest based on these three things. Strategy: you're looking for live tax sales if you can find them. Okay, state: what they do in the state that you want to invest in, and are there any nearby states that have the type of sales that you're looking for? And money: how much money do you have to invest? That is going to dictate which state, which type of tax sales would be better for you to invest in. It's not what people think, right? People are thinking, well, I get this question all the time: which tax lien states pay the most amount of interest, right? They're not always the best ones to invest in. Why? Because they're the most competitive, right? And because sometimes that interest rate is bid down quite low because they're so competitive. All right, so that's not always the best thing to look for. Okay. All right, well, if you enjoyed this, if you got something out of it, please share it. Share this video, and I'll be back tomorrow at the same time tomorrow, and I'll give you another tax lien investing tip on how to find the best properties to invest in, how to find the right properties. Once you determine where to invest, well, how do you find the right properties to invest in? See you tomorrow.